Major League Baseball playoffs here. The ALCS is now set. The Yankees advancing past the Guardians the way they generally always do when it comes to the postseason. The Phillies stay red hot. And we've got NBA action this week as well with the season underway. It's Chris Onorato. It's Ashley Miller. It's the KPM Restoration Rapid Reaction here on News Channel 13's Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
What's up? We're in the same room this time.
Same room. Not a log cabin.
Although it looks like it.
Yeah. Or like, I don't want to say it's going to be insulting to people who decorated this room very nicely. Yeah. It's like the wood paneling you see in like the homes in the 70s. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. So
it's nicer though.
Yeah, we're throwing it back with the Yankees moving on to the ALCS here. We're breaking down what happened against Cleveland. We'll look ahead to the series in Houston, which starts very quickly tonight.
Yep.
For that matter, very little time to celebrate for the Yanks after beating the Guardians, and now on to the Astros, a team they historically do well against in the postseason, to a team they have struggled against recently in the postseason. Let's get it going.
This Onorato and Company Rapid Reaction is presented by KPM Restoration.
Shout out to our guy, Jamie Kennedy at KPM Restoration. He had a team of workers in Florida doing their best to clean up after Hurricane Ian. They're not done. They still have some people down there doing what they do, but they specialize, of course, here in the capital region, whether it's flood waters, whether it's fire, whether it's mold. Their team at KPM Restoration will get you back to normal, as they say. Is Aaron Judge back to normal after the Yankees knocked out the Guardians in Game 5? Judge homered for the second time in 3 games. He's got a little mini 3-game hitting streak going on this postseason. Is Judge back to normal after he had a 4 strikeout game earlier this postseason?
I'm going to say no. I always say to you, it doesn't concern me when he's not hitting home runs. But all year long, when he wasn't hitting home runs, he was still hitting the ball, and it seemed like he was seeing the ball. It still doesn't seem like he's seeing the ball. He seems so off.
Yep.
And I think every once in a while you get lucky and you run into a pitch. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what that was, but 1 home run I don't think quells some of the problems that he's having at the plate. So we'll see against the Astros because, again, historically, in the recent past here, they haven't been so good against their pitching staff.
Right. I mean, most people remember 2017 just because of the scandal, but then it was a couple of years after that where it really illuminated itself because of Altuve not wanting his teammates to rip his jersey off.
Yep.
In that series deciding home run off Aroldis Chapman in Houston. Do the Yanks have the edge here? They don't have home field advantage. They're not. They didn't win the season series against Houston. You're going to tell me they don't have their rotation set up the way the Astros do?
Yes,
everything is pointing towards Houston here, right?
Yeah, I think there is some benefit to having played recently and not getting that time off. That the Astros have not played a lot of games in the last 10 days.
Yep.
They've had a lot of time off. The series with the Mariners was a quick one. It was a sweep. They've now had all this time to wait for the Yankees. That doesn't always bode well for a team because you're not used to that in the baseball season. You don't have time off in those kinds of chunks. So I don't know that that's necessarily a negative for the Yankees. I think it might be a positive. But yes, they've had time. The Astros have had time to line up their rotation. They're going to throw their number 1 pitcher. The Yankees won't be able to do that yet. So you just go with what you go with. At this point in the season, you're lucky to still be playing. You took 5 games to have to win a series against Cleveland, so you have to deal with what you deal with. And it's the thing that I say to you, like last night when they're saying, oh, who's available? Everyone is available.
Yeah.
It's the last game of the season. So you just make it work. You figure it out. No excuses. There are plenty of built-in excuses for the Yankees, but at the same time, you could build excuses in for the Astros. Maybe they'll be rusty. They have too much rest.
Justin Verlander tonight in Game 1 against Jameson Taillon. I would imagine Taillon's on a little bit of a short leash, although I don't know how quickly Boone can pull him, knowing he's got what should be a long series and a bullpen that has been somewhat taxed in the last week, even though there were 2 rainouts that allowed them to really spread out a 5-game series against Cleveland. So it's Tyone. Cole pitched Sunday, which means he's not ready to go Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's 3 days rest. So Cole would go game 3 Saturday at Yankee Stadium, I would have to imagine. So after Tyone, where does Boone go in game 2?
Well, it's not back to Cortez. So
Can't
Severino?
be Cortez. Severino, probably.
Yeah.
Severino. Have we seen Domingo Germán?
Not much at all, no.
So, I would think Severino game 2. And then, you hope you steal 1 on the road. And that's, if it were Cole and Cortez, you would say the same thing. I hope we steal 1 on the road. That would be enough to swing, obviously, home field advantage. It'd be enough to make you feel good going back home. So even if you had your rotation set up, the goal in Houston is still just to win 1. And with Tyone and Severino, you still have that shot.
You still can win 1. Yeah.
You still have that shot. Verlander, of course, is going to be awfully difficult. And it wasn't all that long ago that you had an ALCS that went 7 games between these two teams, and the home team won each and every single one of those games. Jeff Casey is watching. Good morning, Jeff, man. I know you'll be tuned into the baseball tonight for sure. The Phillies stay red hot. Game 1, you want to make a prediction on Yankees-Astros? Why don't you make a prediction overall in the series, Yankees-Astros? What do you think?
Astros in 6.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think it could be 5.
Okay.
Phillies have won 6 of 7 games this postseason. They took the only 2 in St. Louis. Then they won 3 of 4 against the Braves. And now they have won game 1 in the NLCS, 2 solo home runs, Harper and Schwarber. Wheeler was phenomenal.
He's been great in the postseason.
5 no-hit innings, even more than that. The first hit he gave up was in the 6th to the Padres last night.
7.
He was terrific. He is living up to the contract that Philadelphia gave him. I wanted him badly when he was a free agent leaving. The Mets didn't get him. I don't even know the Braves made a play for him. Are the Phillies the most dangerous team right now in the postseason? Would you, if you had to put money on one team to win it all today, would it be Philadelphia or Houston?
Houston. I just can't. For me, it's not that I don't believe in the Phillies. It's just that they're the Phillies. It's an unbelievable story. They're the hottest team in the postseason.
No doubt.
I just don't know that they don't have what the Astros have. So I'm going to go with the Astros. But I wouldn't be surprised if anyone wins it. People are talking about, listen, Mets early exit, Dodgers early exit, Braves early exit. Anything can happen. They keep calling it the year of the underdog.
I'm going to push back a little bit on the idea that the Phillies don't have what Houston has. They didn't win as many games as Houston. Yeah. They barely got into the play, barely got into the playoffs.
They fired their manager. It's been a long time since we've seen something of that kind of turnaround.
Yeah, that's true. They have a top 5 payroll. Mm-hmm. They have Harper and Schwarber and Realmuto.
He's overachieved this year.
But I'm talking about the power bats here, and Castellanos. Mm-hmm. They have Bohm. They have Hoskins. These are 6 guys that I didn't even take a breath to rattle them off, that one swing away from getting you back into I think they're very dangerous. But on top of that, they have Nola and they have Wheeler. Now, I would put those 2 guys up against any other top 2 in any rotation currently in baseball. Verlander, Valdez, Verlander, Urquidy, Cole, Cortez, Darvish, Snell, Darvish, Musgrove.
I'm not putting them up. And listen, they didn't do what they needed to do, but I'm not putting them over Scherzer, DeGrom.
No, currently left in the postseason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, currently left in the I'm talking about just now the 4 teams left to win it. The Phillies have as good a shot and maybe better chance than any team left. That's how hot they are right now.
I mean, you've got a very
That's how healthy they are right now.
Yeah. They got a very winnable CS, obviously. Yeah. So you take your chance with whoever you get.
I can't believe the Phillies might make the World Series.
I mean, they're 7 wins away from a World Series, right? Yeah.
It's disturbing on so many levels that the Philadelphia Phillies might actually win the World Series. I know we're a long way from that, but still. Yeah, really good. Find the start. There's no way. Look, Jeff, they're healthy too. Mm-hmm. They went a good part of the season where this team was not healthy. So
and
the Phillies are
defensively,
interesting.
they were a liability earlier in the season.
Yeah, and they're still not great.
Yeah, but they're not that now. Didi Gregorius moving on
Stop.
has been one of the better decisions for that team.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how it goes.
Phillies Astros World Series. I may not watch a single pitch.
Oh, that would break my heart.
I may not watch a single pitch.
It would be so miserable for me.
It would allow me to go to bed. I'd watch the NBA. I think I might watch the NBA.
Okay.
I can't even imagine watching. I'd root for Houston. I would root for you. I have no problem rooting for Houston. Houston didn't do anything to me. Houston cheated the game. Give me a break. So many teams were cheating the game in the sport. I don't want to hear Houston is all that different than most others. I understand that. You get Bregman and Altuve and these guys just you want to punch them in the face. But they didn't do anything to me or one of my teams. I could live with Houston winning the World Series before I could live with the Phillies winning.
Just wait until I root for the Rangers against the Devils. This is messed up.
Different. That's me. That's like me rooting for the Red Sox. And I'd never do that to you, ever. You can't root for the Rangers. That's in the vows. That was somewhere in the vows.
It wasn't, though. You should.
Well, it wasn't spoken. It was subtext. It was subtext. We didn't actually verbalize it on the altar. But you cannot root for the Rangers. You can't do it. Okay, that's been Onorato and Company's KPM Restoration Rapid Reaction here on News Channel 13's Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're with you every single Thursday morning at 10 o'clock. Bernie Williams.
Yeah.
Talk about a postseason legend. I mean, this guy it's almost I'm going to ask him if he's insulted if I introduce him as a postseason legend. He was a really good baseball player.
Legend.
I mean, a really, really good baseball player. But he did most of his damage, certainly in the postseason. Can't wait to talk with Bernie Williams, the great Yankees center fielder, on tomorrow morning show, 10 o'clock, on all the social media channels associated with News Channel 13. And then you can catch us Saturday nights at 6 o'clock on Sunday mornings at 6 o'clock on News Channel 13. Come hang out with us and Bernie Williams tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching, everyone.